Hey guys, Bill here from North Coast Cigar Review, and we are back with part 2 of the Gurkha Grand Reserve review. Now, in the first episode, we did talk a little bit about the Gurkha brand, the line of cigars, different options they have. We talked a little bit about Kaizad Hanasosha, the founder and owner of Gurkha. We talked a little bit about specs. But today, here on the burn, it's time to fire this bad boy up. And now, we mentioned in the first episode that this cigar has that secret. It's infused with Louis XIII cognac, Louis Trey. So it should give us a real nice flavor profile, a real nice aroma. So we're going to bust this bad boy open. We're going to fire it up and see how she does. So stay tuned. I'll be back quarter of the way through, halfway through, 3/4, and then we'll wind it up at the end with my overall review, my overall thoughts. But if this thing smokes as good as it smells, we're in for a treat. So stay tuned. Alright guys, quarter of the way through here. And some interesting observations already. So one, it's a big time smoker. Something I do appreciate in a cigar. I do like a cigar that smokes a bit, gives off a nice aroma of that cigar smell. This is pretty heavy with that cognac aroma. I mean, it's a big smoker. Look at that. Couple things though. So, we had talked before about Maduro cigars and how they're not necessarily going to be strong cigars. That's a big misconception, right? This fits that bill. This is a definite mild to light medium cigar, which, you know, by looking at that, if you didn't know the difference that we talked about with those Maduros not necessarily being strong, you would think this one would be a killer. It's not. Definitely on that mild to medium range. That's that Connecticut shade wrapper. That's exactly what they were aiming for. The cognac infusion, it's subtle. It's not overpowering at all. When I took a few puffs unlit on this, and it literally tasted like chocolate. Like, it was pretty crazy. I looked over at my wife and said, I feel like I'm hitting a candy bar here. But once we got it lit, it really kind of mellowed out a little bit. So it's got a real nice flavor. It's a very easy smoke. I feel like that's kind of what Kaizad was going for here when he came out with this Gurkha Grand Reserve. He was really going to focus on that Louis Trey infusion and not put a whole lot of bells and whistles in this cigar. Nice, easy smoke, though. So we're a quarter of the way through. One thing I want you guys to see, look at this burn, though. We got a bit of uneven burning. Now, I want to see if this will do some self-correcting at all. We talked about on our first review with the Great Cliff Crystal how a good cigar with good construction will self-correct. So we'll see how this one goes. If that continues with especially that guy right there, I will have to do a little maintenance on that and get it, try to cool it down a little bit so it doesn't continue. But overall, first impressions, pretty nice smoke. We'll see how it goes as we get about halfway through. So, gentlemen, we are halfway through with the Gurkha Grand Reserve. And I'm going to tell you, it's an enjoyable smoke. It is very easy, easy smoke. Not a whole lot of spice to this at all. Tell you what, on a day like today where it's 90 plus degrees, it's a pretty enjoyable, laid-back type of cigar. The cognac flavor is pretty much gone, really. Not tasting a whole lot of it all anymore. It's definitely more prevalent in the aroma that it's giving off with the smoke coming off of this. Overall, though, pretty good. It did, if you look here, it didn't self-correct all the way, but it definitely has started to burn a little bit more evenly without me having to cool it down at all, which is nice. Also, one thing that I thought about as I was going through this, it was a pretty soft cigar. I was worried about it getting hot. And what I mean is, this, as we're pulling the smoke in as we're hitting this, I expected it to really heat up because it's a softer cigar, and that's really not happening. It is definitely getting warm though within probably an inch and a half of the ash here, but once we get down towards the mouth end here, not at all. So halfway through, very enjoyable, very nice, very silky smoke coming off here. Definitely as far as flavor profile, a lot of nuttiness, I want to say there. Typical leathery tastes that are there. Not a very complex flavor profile at all. If the cognac wasn't here and that label wasn't on here, I could almost think I'm smoking a Macanudo. But Gurkha, by infusing it with the cognac, did add some layers to the flavor profile to keep it just interesting enough. But overall, nice smoke. So we're halfway through. I'll be back here once we get down to about 3/4 of the way, give you my overall review on this, rating on this cigar, and my final thoughts. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we're about done with the Gurkha Grand Reserve. We got a few things here I want to go over. First of all, overall impression of this cigar. What I would say is the Gurkha Grand Reserve has this aura of flash. Limited release, limited production cigar infused with the Louis tray. After smoking about 3/4 of this, I'm about that far through, I'm going to say this cigar is a cigar. Not complex, very easy smoke, mild to little bit of medium as far as strength. I envision this being the cigar that you're getting married, your friend's getting married, you're in a wedding party, something like that, and you're handing out cigars. This is the type of cigar you'd hand out. You know, it has a bit of an aura of, you know, rareness to it, so it's a little bit flashy, a little extravagant with the Louis tray, but overall, anybody can smoke it. And that's a good and a bad quality. The good quality of it is anybody can handle it. It's not going to overpower anybody. Everybody can enjoy the cigar. The only letdown I would probably say is I expected a little bit more. You know, Gurkha being who it is in the premium cigar game, I did expect a little bit more of a story with this cigar. I expected the flavor profile to change up throughout, and we really didn't have that. It was very consistent, very steady type of smoke. Also, number two with this, we talked about in the first piece of this review that there was a flaw on the wrapper here, and I showed it to you guys, and where it looked like when they rolled this, that when it dried, one of the leaves kind of overlapped a little bit. And I want to show you what happened here. So you see the ash, right? It looks like a very nice, very solid ash. Check that out. This thing, when it hit that flaw in the wrapper, got a huge run. And I did my best to try to cool it down to stop the canoeing. But that is literally burning half of the cigar. So the whole top half of the cigar burnt, and the bottom half of this binder and wrapper didn't at all. Now normally I would take my lighter and kind of burn this off, but I wanted to show you guys what happens when you have a flaw in a wrapper like that. So you got a pretty good burn. Now, pretty good run. Now it doesn't really affect the flavor or anything like that. It just makes it kind of for an ugly burn, you know. So that's a little bit disappointing right there. But you know, overall, it's a good cigar. You know, a nice easy cigar for a laid back type of day. You know, a special occasion where you guys will be sitting around the table smoking cigars with your buddies. Maybe one of those cigars that you're putting it down, doing a few things, coming back to it, that type of thing. So not anything real complex. Anybody's going to be able to handle this. So I'm going to stay with my original rating on this cigar of a 7 out of 10. You know, 7 is a solid number. Good flavored smoke. The cognac gave off a nice aroma off the smoke coming off the cigar. Really didn't taste much of it as I'm really smoking it. Maybe a little bit on your lips from holding the cigar in your mouth. But overall, 7 out of 10. If you're interested in a cigar like this, again, I was able to find them through Cigars International, and I did see them on cigar.com. So your online venues will carry this cigar. I don't believe you're going to see them in any of your cigar shops in the area. I know that I have not seen it at Jovan's, which is my go-to cigar shop. So if you're interested in the Gurkha Grand Reserve, go ahead and check it out online. You'll catch them anywhere from $15 to $17, $18 a stick. Now, with that being said, would I pay $15 to $17 for this cigar? I'd have to think about that because there's some pretty nice cigars out there I can get for that price. But overall, not bad. 7 out of 10 is nothing really to sneeze at. So, guys, you have a great day. Thanks for watching. And remember, smoke them if you got them.